This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, the Baroness and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk4Media.
Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Behind the Scenes. Am I not doing the intro?
Did you just?
I look like I was supposed to do the intro today. I feel like this was a setup. Anyways.
No, I said you could say where we were. Go to the corner.
All right. Well, anyways, I'm Bear Fiorda, and we're on with my wonderful co-host today, Lady Summer. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I don't want to talk to you.
Oh, now you don't want to talk to me.
The good days.
And as you notice today, we are not in a normal setup. We're not at our home in our own studio. If we can even call it a studio. We are here at Icon Industries in Escondido, California. A fantastic place for you guys to do your own shows. If you ever have the idea and have a wonderful person.
Ruin the sound, I'm going to send you to the corner.
You know what? You're kind of nitpicky. What if I want to clap? What if the audience only wants claps from me today?
Do you think our sound engineer wants you doing that?
Probably not. Oh, man. But there's a lot of things he probably doesn't want us to do that we do.
Well, yes.
He's a very tolerant, patient man.
He is a very, very patient man.
Absolutely.
I will say the behind the scenes. So when you look at it, we are in Escondido, California. And we are at one of the best sound stages I think I've ever been to. It was really interesting. We always had one at Voice America before we shifted over here to this network after Jeff Spinard died. Shout out Jeff Spinard, rest in peace.
Damn shame.
As I clap, I'm giving you shit. I'd like to remind everyone, every time we use bad language, we give money to the Boys and Girls Club of America, the Humane Society of America, and Free MMA. We swear because we care.
Fuck yeah. I was so tempted to clap right now when I said fuck yeah.
I know, just stop clapping. Well, we're used to having the mics. We're used to having the mics in our hands.
Yeah.
And so now you have two people with ADHD and nothing to do with their hands.
We just got free. That's all.
And he's going to clap like a seal.
And our guest today is also going to have hands free today.
That's fantastic. This is going to go terribly.
I just clapped my thigh. This is stupid.
This is going to go terribly. So we want to talk about a couple of things.
Yes.
Did you see Kanye West's new outfit?
You told me about it.
Fabulous. He is wearing a Klan hood, a black Klan hood, and a I don't know the word to use, an unfriendly German party shirt.
Yeah, because the KKK and neo-Nazis need to be more inclusive, right? That's what we're going for here. Inclusivity, is that what it is? Taking the power back.
Please get back on your medication.
There's nothing wrong. If you need medication to sustain a healthy lifestyle, there's nothing wrong with that. It exists for a reason. We spent hundreds of thousands of years evolving as people to figure out how to deal with these problems. Don't just revert back. Don't follow our ancestors' ways. Don't try to do this all natural.
Don't listen to the voices in your head. Take your medicine.
If it's your own voice and intuition, though, is that okay?
No. At this point, I do not trust him.
Oh, him specifically, yeah. No,
no
if something's talking to you, dude, stop. They just don't even bother. It's not a good idea. That train of thought's probably not. It's going to lead you to more Klan hoods. Okay, we don't want that.
He was a lovely man before he lost his marbles.
You know, there was a man who did a documentary on the Klan like a decade or 2 decades ago, did it in a 3-part series where he went and made friends with like Klan dragons, the leaders, and he was just a large African-American dude, and he made good friends with them.
He was awesome. The black guy that went and infiltrated the Klan. I liked him.
Infiltrated with my ass. He walked in like, hey, I'm black, and I want to see what you guys do. And some of the nicest interactions you've seen as people, like just general people, were with him and these Klan leaders. It was crazy.
He actually talked some people out of leaving the Klan, into leaving the Klan. He was such a nice man. They're like, you know what? I'm done with the Klan. He
talked a leader out of it.
Yep.
And they gave him his robes as a thank you.
I love that. Like, that is what we should be doing. It's not about the Klan being more inclusive, Mr. West. It is about people leaving.
No, not trying to monetize off the Klan, right? Oh my God, we can go on about this for 6 years.
Oh, it's all this red pill nonsense.
We should get that guy on the show, by the way.
Yes, we should. Alexis, will you please get the guy that made friends with the Klan members? Big black guy, talk the Grand Dragon into leaving. Love that guy. I'm clapping.
Did you
I'm
just
telling
clap?
you, I did.
Did
I
you just
clapped.
clap?
I need something for my hands.
I give you
It's
mittens.
killing me. I know. I need mittens at
Would
this
you like to
point.
hold my hands?
Duct tape. No, I don't like you.
Oh, all right. Well, shit.
You're cute though.
Thank you.
But
Give and you take.
have when you look at when you look at Kanye West and you look at what he's doing, it really is a case of mental illness, and he really does need to. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not. People need to stop watching the train wreck. We know it's happening, and the more attention we're given. I mean, his wife just left him because he
Well, he
exploited
forced her to walk naked on the red carpet. I mean, that's
Yes.
kind of a good reason to say goodbye.
No. I'm
Like,
not
I'd
saying
be
she
done with
shouldn't have
that
left.
shit
I'm not saying
too.
she shouldn't have left. I'm just saying that you have people like Kanye West that have been exposed to this red pill nonsense. You have
Yeah.
Andrew Tate making a fortune off of
Do you
it.
think Kanye
One
really
of the
believes in red
best,
pill?
yes,
though?
I do. And one of the best things I've seen recently, and you all should watch, there is a great show on Netflix called Adolescence. It comes from the UK, and it focuses on the difficulty of being a young man in today's day and age on social media, on internet,
And general
porn.
existing.
Yeah, it's a very very difficult watch, and essentially this young boy murders a classmate of his
Fuck.
because
Okay.
she won't go out with him, and this isn't a whodunit. The very first episode, you find out he stabbed her to death. And he thought because she'd had a bunch of naked photos released of her, her self-esteem would be low enough to go out with him. This is actually explained. And because she's not interested in him, he's not thinking about the fact that she was just exploited. She has absolutely no desire to go out with anyone because her naked pictures are all over the internet. Instead, what's happened is he stabbed her, and then his dad goes to the police station with him, and watch it. It's one of the best series I've seen in years.
Her dad goes to the police.
His dad.
Oh, his dad. No,
His dad.
I'm sorry, but because when you said her dad, my brain goes, my daughter had nudes leaked and then got stabbed to death because a guy thought her self-esteem was so low that she would date him because of that. I wouldn't be walking with him to the police office. I'd be walking with a body to the police office.
Yes, dear.
The police station
I know what you would
office,
do.
not
I know
school.
what you
I'm
would
just
do.
that's the logical next step. Sorry for the tangent.
No,
Please
I
continue.
understand. My father would have done the same. I'd be visiting him in prison. I'm simply saying that it is one of the best explorations I've seen of it. And, Joe Rogan did an excellent deep dive into red pill culture and how young men are getting pulled in.
Which is funny because I remember he went on his own like wackaloo tangents over COVID. Not even like whether the vaccine was real or not, just yelling at people about face masks and shit.
He's not a stable man, but he's an
got
entertaining man.
He's entertaining. He's kind of got it. I think he's got it together right now. I wonder if it wasn't all like because he went heavy into like different supplements and
he's one of those
different
people that
medicinal
shouldn't be
processes
allowed.
back in the day.
I think anyone over the age of 50 shouldn't be allowed on Facebook. Maybe 40.
Now, do you think it's because they themselves shouldn't be, or the people who are posting the radical content shouldn't be?
I think they can't tell the difference between fact or fiction. One of the biggest ongoing conversations I have is, I'll talk to my mum and I'm telling her, I understand the man called you and said that your Windows isn't working, but you have a MacBook. Why did you get on the phone and give him access?
Why'd you give him access to your Mac?
I now have to chase a virus. So I think there is a level of digital, I don't want to say incompetence because that's the wrong word, but a lack of exposure. So they can't tell what AI is. They can't tell what is real, isn't real, what is going on. They can't tell. And
even worse now, they started coming in. I say started. This has been on since about 2024, where they started crafting automated messages based off people's voices. Yeah. They'll call you, get you to say a couple things. Take that, AI generates what you would sound like saying other words, and then they call your relatives. Like, I'm stuck trapped out here, I'm stuck in here, I need this money, or whatever it is to get free. And so I think that'd probably catch any one of us now. If it's getting good at it, it's not just kind of obviously AI, let alone someone who maybe not so familiar with that concept.
Your mom would beat your ass though. Like,
Oh, yeah,
first
she's
you'd
sending
get in
me
trouble.
money.
Like,
Fuck,
no,
she's
your
sending-
mom would be like, well, if you got yourself into that trouble, Bear, you got to get yourself out, don't you? And then when she found out it was AI, she'd yell at you for frightening her.
I just imagine the scam artist from some third world country playing the recording. It's like, Mom, I got into a car accident. I'm in prison. I need $30,000 to get free. And she's like, well, that fucking sucks, Bear, doesn't it? You better figure that out. Click.
Like, I love your.
Oh, I love her. I don't think she's
Like,
doing it like that, but there's definitely
yeah.
like a moment of, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah,
What do
are you
mean?
stupid? I saw you yesterday, but you're also
I
close
saw you
with
yesterday,
with your
yeah.
mom. Like, you're very close with
it's
your mom.
not in a strange situation
No.
at all. So it also
She
be like,
sees you every other day. She'd be like, what the hell do you mean you're in Venezuela? You were here yesterday. And how dare you leave the country without telling me?
so you,
And somehow you'd still get in trouble for the AI voice calling her and scaring her.
she'd be like, you just helped me move the 500-pound 13-year-old TV. What are you doing in another country today? No, we did one over last night, and I helped her move this TV. It was stupid. It was smaller than the one up above us right now by a significant amount, and it was still just the head. I felt like I was doing like bench press. I was weightlifting this thing to get a workout.
It's those old school TVs.
Yes.
It's those old school TVs. Now, we do have a guest today, and we will talk a little bit about the red pill content, and we will talk a little bit about sex and culture and how it affects young men, because that really is the biggest thing. I know everyone right now is worried about. It's funny. I've seen a push online. They're worried about young women in society and OnlyFans and this and that. But I have no problem with that. If that's how you're making your money, good for you. I hope you make it. I actually agree. The biggest concerns we have are what young men are exposed to and what they're expecting, and the prolific accessibility of adult content on the internet, because I think it gives them a very unrealistic expectation. I mean, what, people are having less sex than they've ever had.
Yeah, no.
The birth rates are dropping. People don't know how to have relationships, and they don't know, how to do. There was a great guy online. He was talking, and he said, I don't know why, they keep. He basically didn't think the clitoris was real.
I was gonna say I have 2 bones to pick with our guest today, like just getting information and her opinion on these bones. That's a third one now. That's a nice ice cream on top. Is the clitoris real?
Are you really asking?
Where is it?
Really?
Do I need a map?
Have you?
Is it like a cave diving expedition? Can I die down there trying to figure it out?
If you go splunking, something has gone completely wrong. And I don't know
what
that is cave diving.
It's cave is splunking?
Yeah, that's
is that the sound you make when you fall down 10 feet and crack your head on the rocks?
No, that's the technical term for cave diving. That is a technical term for cave diving.
You know that's because someone listened to their friend die, and that's the sound they made when they hit the ground.
I'd like to welcome to the show dominatrix and person that I'm hoping can get this conversation right back on track, Alexis Romero. Welcome to the show.
Host of the show of the online platform Kink4Dummies. Welcome back.
Hello.
Long time guest.
We actually only invited you because we had to have someone we could have in studio.
Yes.
So
I'm well aware.
I know, because you booked yourself.
Booked yourself. Welcome to the show, our producer, Kink4Dummies.
She's actually the producer of this show, Alexis Romero. I got to tell you, she booked herself. She hates to be on television. She absolutely hates all of this. So she's in hell, but she booked herself so she could be here because she wanted me to.
Well, I mean, this is mostly radio, isn't it? Right? It's not.
Yeah, our main audience is radio.
Yeah, so you're only audibly, you're only sound.
No, visually,
I am awkward visually and audibly.
Yeah, you've got the 7 people watching live.
Hi.
The 7 people watching live. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Just wait for the audio.
I want to dive into the bones that I had real quick. Okay, number 1 is not as serious. Okay, this lady, and we watched this the other night, and I want to ask your professional opinion. It's an OnlyFans model, or at least she's in the corn industry. She had her back blown out by 50 dudes, and then had to go.
She had her butt blown out.
That's what that means. And then had to go. She took back shots by 50 guys, and then had to get surgery, anal, and then had to get surgery done because of that. And she's doing a get ready with me, showing off her fit to go to surgery and go and have surgery on her butt. But
she did a whole thing with Lily James. Lily James is the girl that goes and chases the guys that just turn 18.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's so much wrong with that.
She was not welcome in
Australia.
Australia.
That is her priority. I'm just saying.
To chase young men?
No, to show off her fit before she goes to surgery.
Turn that towards
it may be, I don't know, but I guess what I'm trying to ask you is like, what do you think of people who the stars kind of do that, but then they go on, they make these more wholesome content, and it's basically to get the younger viewers' attention so that they get more views on their videos.
They are actually now so for anyone that doesn't know, what they're doing is they're taking these adult film stars, and these adult film stars are making cooking shows and get ready with me's and all these things to bring in an audience, and then redirecting them to OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of OnlyFans. Like, get your back. I'm not going to knock it. I certainly wouldn't live poor. I've made a very, very good point in my life of making a lot of money because I like money. So I didn't make it that way. That sounds like a lot more work than I'm willing to put in.
That is definitely a lot more work.
That really, and a lot more invasive.
But you also compare sex to
like a carrot up the nose. Yeah,
I think you're.
I just don't think I could.
It's like jamming a carrot up your nose.
I just don't think I could live with myself if I knew that my revenue is coming from these like 14, 15-year-old boys who are stealing their parents' credit cards to buy my subscription.
Your revenue does come from 14 and 15-year-old boys. That's how you support your gym.
People donate for my nonprofit where I teach people martial arts for free. I am not selling them my penis on the internet.
You could probably make money doing that.
No one's doing that. These are kids. That's
have an OF though.
I have an OF with one video on it where I'm just doing an ASMR of eating a bowl of cereal.
I do encourage everyone, and I will tell this from a media perspective. If you don't own your OnlyFans and you have a following, someone else will get your OnlyFans, and they will make lookalike content, AI content. So make sure you own your OnlyFans. I own my OnlyFans. I don't have anything up, obviously, but you own your name. Make sure you own your name on every platform, everywhere, always.
Yeah, you never want someone else to come and take your likeness. But yeah, what's your opinion on that situation? Like, why are
we talking about the red pill situation, the anal stitching, women who are, or OnlyFans? Which one? We just jumped 4 topics.
The women who are doing this, where they advertise wholesome content or put out wholesome content, advertise their OnlyFans to attract younger viewers.
I think that there is a big difference between doing it with somebody that is obviously a child and a minor, then it becomes where it's not consensual.
Hang on. We say our show's 18 and over intentionally, and we know most of our listener base is like 14.
Yeah, speaking of, hi, Sniffy.
Special comments are right there.
I think that we definitely should cater to a larger demographic, but I think that it needs to be consensually over 18. So I don't know. I'm mixed opinions because we do cater to a younger audience.
No, we don't. Oh, I want to say we don't cater
the
to
radio. No.
I just know that our largest demographic.
Like, it just happens
14.
to be kids because they're kind of weird.
Because they follow you.
They follow me, and then they go watch.
Yeah, and we tell them not to watch it. Like, my largest demographic was always young people that wanted to be famous.
Mm.
Your demographic is,
and they still are.
Yeah, and yours is young people that want to be, kicked in the junk.
No, they actually part of the rules is to avoid that. Yes.
Gotcha.
That's your audience for sure.
Do you think the prevalence of now, because you do adult content, not yourself, but you put out adult content on your Kink4Dummies.
Yes.
Do you want to tell everyone kind of what it is and what you do before we get into it, so they don't think you're on OnlyFans needing stitches in your bottom?
So Kink4Dummies is an educational platform that is talking about kinks and fetishes and how to speak with your partners to get them more involved. Thank you.
So here's a very important question. If somebody has had enough anal sex that they require stitches,
then use more lube.
Is there a way to use enough lube for 50 dudes?
I'm not sure. You might want to try.
We should do some scientific trials. We can get like a stent. We can get.
I personally do not have a lot of experience on that.
You've never had 50 men.
Not in one day.
Have you had 50 men in total?
I don't think that's anybody's business.
Oh, I like that answer. Good girl. Best answer.
That's hard. We're prying too hard as interviewers.
No. That is I think that's always the appropriate answer. I have people ask, like, what is your number? That I've had very, very few partners. And something that has always been difficult for me is having that conversation. And it was actually Alexis, because I've had people, especially when I was younger, they'd be tease or kind of pick on me because I wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? Frigid bitch is usually the word that was used.
But you're so warm.
Yeah, sure. But it was you that had turned around and said, why is it anyone's business? And if you're going out with these guys and they're asking, Why are you still going out with them?
That's usually the time of the date where you just get up and walk out.
I thought it was excellent.
Well, and
And
you
I
know,
think
you got.
that,
Sorry, go ahead, please.
and I think that is the appropriate answer. But now it's going the opposite way. People are not having sex. People are waiting longer to have sex. They are having less partners. They're not getting married. I mean, our grandparents had more sex than our parents. Our parents had more sex than us.
Our grandparents are still having more sex than us.
That is true. Gen Z apparently is not sexually prolific.
Well, you know, with the rise of pornography, of course, I think that's
That's what
just
they're
a
saying.
bit. It's one of the largest reason why that's happening. But I also want to believe it's because of the more mainstream red pill content that's out there. It tells these young men how you're supposed to get women. They go out there and they turn a bunch of women off, and then they never get anywhere. So I
Don't
also
walk up
am
to women
concerned
and try
about
and
the
spit,
whole
like spit. What was it? The spit your game.
spit game,
Yeah.
spit fire.
Yeah, they used to have those guys that were the pickup artists, and people did it then didn't work then either.
That's when you go up to her and just start rambling off tongue twisters until she gets tired of listening to you.
And that's why a lot of them are still.
That is how I like to believe that if I walk up to a woman in bar and say, "Hey, you want to hear a tongue twister?" she would absolutely kind of pay attention to that. But if I walk up to her and be like, "Can I find your clitoris?" she's not going to want to roll with that one.
Well, the younger
depends on the
generation is
girl.
going to still
It
debating on whether
depends
or
on
not
the
they
girl.
have one.
Yeah, the younger generation, there is a whole movement
Oh, yeah,
in the red pill
it's-
community saying that the clitoris doesn't exist.
It's a myth.
And it depends. It depends on what you're saying. If you walk up to a woman, but you know how to pick up girls, and I don't
Yeah.
mean that in a bad way, but you do know how to get women in bed. That isn't like a
And it's
problem
not
for
by
you.
asking them they want to hear a tongue twister. Like maybe one of them will like that, but you're gonna go through a lot. That's not the best
Maybe
open.
turn around and say, "Can I show you how to do?"
That's not it's great open. Can I show you how to do?
Do you think?
I give you a physical example of how you do better at tongue twisters.
Oh, do you think?
I just fucking clapped again.
You did. Doing amazing. Do you think the prolific red pill content that is causing there is no clitoris, women, shouldn't date after 25, the just pearly things of it all?
The trad wife movement.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's also a huge lack of education.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you're in America. Your education system sucks.
Well, okay. Well, how about this? How would you improve? What do we think we should be teaching our kids then?
More education, sex education
That would be
specifically.
a change, yeah. You guys did ban sex education in the entire South. You're not allowed to teach about condoms.
You say you guys.
I know
Don't
you're
include
not
us.
American. Fine, you're not American, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you both live here by choice.
I'm here because I make a lot of money here.
Yeah.
But it's you choose to stay here. There are rich Australians in Australia. There are probably rich Peruvians in Peru.
Yes.
Maybe.
And we both work in the entertainment industry.
But that's just it. Oh, okay. It's because you chose. But you can work in the entertainment industry outside of the country.
Weren't
Can't
you
you?
offered to go to Bernie, Tasmania to run a radio
Oh, right.
station?
That was
You
my
could have
friend mother
been the
wanted me
head
to
of
go
your
there
own
too.
studio.
Yes, no. My grandmother was like, "We have a station in that." She watches this, but she's like, "We have a station in Bonnie." I was like, "It's not the same thing. I make films that cost $100 million. It's a little different, a little bit."
But we are going to Bernie.
We are.
Yeah, we have to go back. It's such a beautiful place.
Back on topic. You talk specifically about sex and sex education and kink on your channel. And so you are doing a fair bit to combat this red pill nonsense. But are you hitting the traffic, or do you think you're hitting the demographic you need to combat this?
To be fair, it's not just me. It is a complete community. And I put out videos that other very, very talented creators have put out themselves.
So you're curating.
Yes. And so I think that as a community, there is a movement towards, educating everybody, but I don't think that it is enough because it's not just one page or one community that's going to be able to combat it.
Do you think so right now we have an extreme rise in STDs. We have a rise in teen pregnancy, but a drop in the birth rate. And that's because of the combination of miscarriage and STIs during pregnancy and a drop in the number of people having sex. How do you think that correlates?
I think that we definitely need to educate more and have people get tested more often. There's so many free access now to get tested, and so
basically tools are available to you. Resources are available to you. Use them.
Do you think in most of your videos, I mean, not all of it, but some of it talks about butt stuff. I know you love that term. Don't
We talked about butt stuff earlier.
Yeah, we
50 butt things happening, actually.
See? But do you think I'm trying to find a really nice way of saying this, and I can't. There's a push in the red pill community saying guys shouldn't even wipe their butts because it's gay. Really Google it. I'm telling y'all, look it up. It's a whole movement.
Unfortunately, I've heard of this before.
Yeah. It's saying guys shouldn't wipe their butts because touching your butt is gay. How do we combat stupid?
Don't.
I don't think you can. Education.
No, listen. I don't mean to interrupt. You probably have a very logical answer to this.
I assumed it meant they were using a bidet. No, they just don't clean.
No, don't fix it. Don't fix. I want it to become a standard that if you get with a guy and he's got a shitty butthole, then he's just stupid, and breeding with him is only going to make stupid kids. Like, survival of the fittest. Okay. I think that is the best way to handle this situation. If you're a young lady out there or a young man out there,
stupid enough to still do it,
and your partner does not clean his ass, he's gonna make dumb kids with you, or he'll help you create a dumb kid if you adopt. Get him out of there. You don't want him involved in your life.
Shitty ideas.
Shitty ideas.
I'm just saying,
like
it's the prolific viewpoints that are coming from this, red pill community. Ironically, this all came from the Andrew Tate community.
Yeah, and that kind of invaded entertainment world a bit too, because while we don't like it, he got big enough to where he became a public figure. He became an entertainer. He became his own version of like an A-list celebrity.
He is still a public figure, even on trial.
Yeah. Oh, he's off now.
Have just gone away.
No, he's off trial now. He's free from Romania. He came back to Florida, where they immediately picked him up again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they didn't pick him on anything they can hold, so he's out again.
Yeah.
But he's free. He's doing his own thing again.
And he's trying to get a documentary made about himself.
Ooh.
There are some people he might have reached out to. Nobody wants to do it.
He probably has the resources to do it himself, though.
He does not. So the one thing with Andrew Tate is a lot of his stuff was lying. Like he does not have the money he has.
Cars and houses.
He trafficked women, and it wasn't that he was getting laid. It wasn't like do you remember all those guys that would turn around and be like, "Look at all these women I have on my yacht that I paid to be here."
Mm-hmm. Didn't know yacht women or yacht girls was a career.
Oh, it was
much later. It's a lucrative career. It's not for everybody. I'm not saying just hop on a boat right now with your underwear, but it's
the highest paid girl of all time was actually Kylie Jenner.
Yes.
When she turned 18, she was given millions of dollars for her first night on a yacht, which is negotiated by her mother.
Her mother really orchestrated that.
It's very, very sad.
What did you say?
It's not a surprise.
It's brilliant and it's sad.
It's brilliant and sad.
sad.
Yeah. It's not really a surprise. The mother put out the sex tape with Ray J.
Yeah, that was all orchestrated too. Sex is really just such a big aspect of the entertainment world, but I think in today's current climate, it's kind of I don't even want to say it's definitely for the male gaze, definitely pushed towards the men, but it's also just a ton of terrible information for guys, so they don't end up getting any value out of it.
The clitoris is a myth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think biology classes
would be good.
Well, you guys don't know that in biology. You learn that in sex ed. Well, you would learn it in biology because the breakdown of the human body.
They don't learn it at all.
Any step up is a great step at this point.
There's this whole group of guys on these red pill forums, specifically on Reddit, and they turn around and said, well, every girl I've been with, none of them have ever orgasmed. So clearly female orgasm is a myth. And I'm like, really? You can't find the common denominator? No, not one comment. You can't figure out why.
They live in an echo chamber.
Well, what do you think about the lack of education for these men and the inability to get women to orgasm?
Do more research.
I think research is the problem.
But they're researching on Reddit.
They're watching pornography.
Okay.
And expecting that to be their research.
Yeah. I mean, I can firsthand tell you, I started watching when I was 9. It became a problem, and it's something that I took into many relations, thinking this is how you're supposed to act, this is what you're supposed to do. And I can't imagine me being 9 again, but now I have that and Andrew Tate and these other people and there's just so many ways to
how did you figure out that women, could orgasm?
Well, I wasn't involved in the red pill community, so inherently I just trusted people who I made friends with. And so when I would meet these women who are like, oh, that's bullshit. Like, oh, is it? Okay. I can learn from that. No, mistakes get made. Nowadays, like, that's bullshit. Nah, you're lying. You don't have a clitoris. It's a myth.
So for you, it was having a large network of women.
Well, I think I had better influence. Like if I had someone like you and what you do for the community, and I've got into pornography and kink or whatever, and I started watching like this is what it actually is, how it will work with a real human, how to treat the other person, then it becomes okay. I'm at a state, and this the internet, more importantly, is at a state where I could still learn from this and come out better on the other side and be more intelligent in my actions moving forward with women or whatever sex I choose. But nowadays, you can get stuck in an echo chamber on Reddit, on YouTube, on wherever, because they find one video you watched, and now it's like you watched Andrew Tate, you only ever want to see Andrew Tate. Here's all of his stuff. And that can really screw your mind up because then you start reading comments, you see people agreeing with him, see people your age, your demographic agreeing with it, and you're like, this has got to be it. It's got to be right. All these people are not going to be wrong.
But then the algorithm just feeds you those
content. And that's exactly what it is. And you get fed that again and again and again. I think I really miss the old YouTube algorithm where it was like, here's one video based on something you watched or based on your history, and 80 videos we think you might like that are trending this week. So I think that was the algorithm really does target because, we've found all the land in the world. We are selling everything we can. So the only commodity left is time. And I know I'm guilty of it. What I want is your time. I sell you movies and television shows, and I want your time. That is what's monetizable. And the easiest way to do that is to focus on the algorithm, because I can target exactly what you want. I can target the products you're looking at. I can target the places you've gone. I can target what you've already watched. And even if you go into incognito mode, believe it or not, it's collecting cookies. So it's still tracking what you did. There have been people that were outed at work because they were offered gay cruises.
Are you kidding me? Your incognito mode. Just go to your internet provider, your phone provider. Mm-hmm. Any one of those guys can pull it. Ted from IT at T-Mobile will pull up your internet history, incognito mode or not. They can do that. It's not a foolproof plan.
I foster and adopt, and let me tell you, it doesn't matter if you go on incognito. I can jump on the IP server and watch every site you went to, and I can just skim over it, and it takes me right there.
It's not. We live in a great age of technology that we can do that. Mm-hmm. But I think more so back to the topic, I want to know what your opinion is as far as the red pill community and content that's kind of infiltrating a lot of, it has infiltrated the content that young men have watched. And what would be your advice on getting away from that kind of stuff when it's all you see every day?
I'm not sure because, yes, I have a basic understanding of how the algorithms work, but I think stepping outside and looking up different educational resources that aren't affiliated with the red pill community.
I think they need Happy Healthy Harold. When I was little, there was this cutout. My Happy Healthy Harold, hear me out. My dad suggested this. We were talking about this the other day when we were talking about the refusing to wash their butts.
This isn't a sock puppet, is it?
No, it's not a sock puppet. It's a cutout. It's paper. Happy Healthy Harold. Go to PBS, Google Happy Healthy Harold. But it's just basic personal hygiene, how to take care of yourself. I think before we worry about sex, we should worry about personal hygiene. I don't think Americans bathe very well.
Well, you look at China or most countries around the world, they're teaching the itty bitties from little on personal hygiene and how to clean properly, how to wipe properly, how to, brush your teeth properly, how many times to brush your teeth. That's something that I think is a mess here in the U.S.
Isn't that more subjective? Because North Korea, 90% of them are probably not learning how to bathe properly because most of them live in distinct and utter poverty. I think it's more subjective though.
But so even places like India that are not as financially stable as the United States bathe more often than America. Americans now, if you look up the statistics, I was raised with you take one, bath or shower a day, and then you take a standing bath once or twice a day. You brush your teeth 3 times a day, specifically after meals. You rinse or brush your teeth. You're taught that if you sweat, you take an extra standing bath or an extra bath. That's just standard.
I grew up in Peru where there was literally, you have an entire family living in a 1-room house, and they had to go outside to bathe, and they still took more showers than I've seen some people here in the US.
But that's getting worse with the red pill community. These guys don't think they need to bathe. They think it's, wiping their own butt is gay.
How do you guys think dirty always plays back into like incel communities?
Have you never met a neckbeard?
think
That's
it's
what
just
I want to know. Like,
laziness,
why is it just a lazy personality? Maybe
All right.
what
When
kind
we
of
see a
gears them towards that?
715-pound guy
We don't see them. They
with
can't
a
walk outside their
fedora,
house.
no, with a fedora, walking around with his waifu pillow.
waifu.
Waifu pillow.
Waifu pillow.
Waifu pillow.
You know what a waifu pillow is?
Hang on. I speak at Comic Cons,
Okay.
I speak at conventions, and I talk about how
See
to get
'em
your
all the
products
time.
made into. I do meet these guys. Bathing is not a thing. And it's not just these guys. It's spreading now to teenagers here. It's spreading it's really spreading to young men. And it's very strange. And I mean, your whole audience is young men. Isn't your whole thing like bathe because you guys have to punch each other and sweat? And you have some guys butt in your face?
Community, I think those who train in martial arts and who follow my content, my community, they definitely have a greater understanding of, I can't go home and not bathe and go to school the next. One thing I wouldn't say never, probably past the age of 8, had trouble doing is bathing myself and make sure I was clean. Because at that point, I finally got the idea that, I'm going to go work out for 3 hours tonight. I don't want to go home and smell like that and go to school and this thing smell like that. I have to take care of myself because I had that external thing going on. It just made sense to bathe and be clean.
But
from
you have
working out.
other grown men sitting on your head. If they didn't wipe, you'd know it.
Well, that was Taekwondo at the time. If a grown man was sitting on my head at that age, there'd be questions.
Valid. But I'm saying now, I have seen grown men sit on your head.
You know what? I will say this too. It's not just it. People have this conception that incels are like the ugliest people on the planet. They're not sometimes.
No, they're really
It could be a very attractive
guys.
person that doesn't take care of themselves. So in the picture, they're like, this is an awesome dude. And then you talk to them or you hear them or listen or smell them. And it's terrible. I would train with a guy who smelled so bad at a local jiu-jitsu gym that when I was training with him and he breathed on me, it literally smelled like feces. Like he had eaten poop, came to training. That was what he did. And so I stopped. I'm not going with you anymore. I stopped. I went to somebody else, started rolling with them. And I left that in the air, like the smell he left with me. So that was it. But it's not like I didn't look at him and think this guy looks gross. He looked like just a human, just a person who then happened to smell awful.
No, I get that. And you are one of the sweatiest guys I've ever met. Like you are incredibly sweaty.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't stink.
That depends on the person too.
Well,
I think I smell.
I think that's subjective.
I think I smell not great when I sweat profusely. You like it. You think I'm like nerve gas when I sweat. Like mustard bombing you, mustard gas you.
But what about the young guys now that are trying to? You've got this cross section of young men that don't want to bathe are being told they shouldn't. You've got this red pill community. Then and
then they're being told that you are entitled to sex.
You're entitled to sex. Then they've got this huge push of adult content, and then they're hitting places like yours because they're interested in kink. How is this ever going to come together? Because none of that is cohesive. None of that works together. You are not going to get some stinky dude unless he's paying for it getting booty.
I think you have to have the people that have large followings like Bear teaching the younger generations. These are the things that you have to do, not just in the gym, but on a personal daily basis so that you can attract young men and women and whatever you want.
Girls.
Yeah.
So you think Bear should teach people how to get young girls?
No, that's
not what I started to say.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
That is not what I mean. Personal hygiene.
When I will start teaching, I like to say, I actually have a separate page called Bear the Goods where I teach people about confidence, leadership skills, maintaining physical well-being and health. So I think what I could do there is teach people how to get age-appropriate women for themselves.
Buy a bidet.
Yes, that goes from a young man, teenager to adult. A bidet works great, and teach your kids how to use them, how to clean themselves properly, of course. Because when you go to make that first impression with the lady or guy you're interested in, you don't want to smell like ass. That probably gets 1 out of every 3,000 people.
And if you take your pants off? No. What would you do? If a guy comes in, takes his pants off, and it's just a poopy situation?
Walk out. The door opens.
The door is right. You are not entitled. He's not entitled to keep you there. And in fact, his pants are down by his ankles. You have a better chance of getting away.
There shouldn't.
He's got to pull him up or waddle.
Escape should not be part of the issue.
Well, the problem with these people, these incel guys, yeah, it kind of is part of the issue where you have to escape because they learn online, they learn from social media that you're entitled to this thing. So we have stories like where the girl was approached by a dude, asked for her number, she said no, so he took a brick to her head.
Yeah,
like escape is absolutely now an essential part of dating. It's something to consider. Women go on to talk all the time about how like I don't want to turn this guy down because I don't have enough people around me that I could trust to help me.
I can tell you, I'll turn around to people and say, no, thank you, I'm not interested. And that does not get as
a vitriol response.
No. It doesn't get as understanding a response as I beg your pardon, I'm involved. And nothing gets as good a response as I hang out with the cage fighter.
And even if you say you're involved, it's like, oh well, with who? I mean, they don't have to know.
Yeah, that's what that does happen. And then, I'll go to events with you or I'll be seen with you and you have guys that'll come over and they'll chat with me and they're like, oh, 25-year-old cage fighter, you dating him? Yep. Okay, bye.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
Which, I find funny being on social media. And I'm sure you get a similar aspect to yourself and to you as well. I'd imagine too when people reach out. I got on social media thinking that this is going to be like chicks are going to flock to me and see all the stuff. And like, I'm going to have to deal with constant trying to hit on me. Nope. She's got a bunch of guys complimenting my body. I had a guy.
It's like having a sports car. It's the kind of page you have because you don't have a thirst trap page. It's like the guys that are like, I'm going to buy a 1967 Chevelle. Like that is and let me tell you, that is a nice car.
It's a nice car.
A guy that has
but you're only going to get to the guys like nice car.
And he said, and he does, and he's like, and every guy he passes is like, dude, I love your car. I would totally suck your. He's like, this is not the chick magnet I thought it would be.
I had a guy.
That is your page. That is your page. Your page is not the chick magnet you thought it would be.
I also want to say that incel stuff is not just to the heterosexual. I had a guy reach out to me. And he used a contact that I knew of who I trained with as a way to have a conversation with me. And then he later texted me about how he wants to rape me and sent me a photo of what might be his penis or someone's penis from the internet.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like, it doesn't matter. Anyone can follow that content and believe in those terrible beliefs.
Well, do you think with the prevalence of the red pill nonsense, I mean, in your community, you face the 50 Shades of Grey controversy, which is everyone's into BDSM because because they were touched inappropriately
by their mothers. Yes. Is that not true?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Then you have the red pill controversy, which is they start watching these cartoons and they're like, no, it's not BDSM, it's normal sex, and there's now that crossover. And now it's it's not a child that I'm watching, it's a 12,000-year-old goddess in a child's body in this cartoon.
Which is all nonsense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's just like the Twilight
of Twilight, Twilight Zone of mental illness. You hit all of that. For you watching this emerge online, are you seeing more or less young people interested in kink? I say young people like I'm like 90.
Well, I look at the demographics of the page and it's predominantly between 25, 35, 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely not hitting the younger generations, but there is still a large audience for the Gen Xers and the Gen Zers. So I think that
it sounds like it's mostly millennials.
Yeah.
So it's alpha.
Older Gen Z in that mix. What separates millennial and Gen Z is a year. That's
I understand, but what she's describing is essentially millennials. I mean, it's our generation. It's not okay, but we were already having sex.
Yeah, but I think the boomers also were. They also educated a lot of the Gen Xers and then the millennials, and so
when you teach abstinence, you do have a problem.
This can be difficult maybe to answer. Do you think the internet overall has been better or worse for sex, especially when it gets embedded in the entertainment industry?
I think it's screwed everybody up in a way.
Well, it's always been involved in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, sex sells.
VHS, well, it's not that. VHS took over because porn went to VHS. DVD took over instead of beta. DVD took over Blu-ray because of porn.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, porn, thank you, has made all of the decisions. Streaming got really popular because of porn. The internet is a thing because of porn. People only have Google images because they wanted to see Jennifer Lopez in the deep cut green dress. Really, everything that's ever led humankind has been about sex or money. I'm driven by money. Some people are driven by sex. I will,
I think
you know,
that's
and
the
some people will
base.
sell sex to get money. It just depends on how you're
Like
driven.
the one that had
Anal stitches.
Yeah.
50 back shot.
it all comes from
I gotta tell you, there are a lot of things I would do for money. I'm not sure where my number is there. It's one of those. I'm already financially okay. So where do you draw that line?
Well, everybody has a number.
Oh God, yes. What's your number? How many for 50 in the bottom?
What the fuck?
I don't know. I genuinely couldn't say.
What about you?
Do I get to curate the people?
No,
So I can't even be. So it's got to be.
you're not allowed to look for like 50 guys with micro penis.
Well, I mean,
Sarah, what's your number?
I have to consider the surgery costs. Is the thing. My insurance may not cover that. I can't go to a doctor and be like, yeah, I got fucked
You're in
half 50 times, and I need you guys. I need Blue Cross in here right now to discuss my copay. So I don't. I couldn't say it. It would have to be easy in the tens of millions. I got to value myself very high if we're going to do this.
You get
That
in a
to me is
cage
low.
and have people punch you in
the
the
face for money. Like you get punched in the face for money.
Yeah. No, I need like Floyd Mayweather money. Like just as like a starting base for us to consider this concept.
Fair.
To think about where it's gonna go. No, I don't think anyone should be
So
doing
you
that in
don't
general.
know.
It's just not.
I'm just saying. So you know where the approximate numbers are now.
No one in their right mind would ever pay that.
No.
No. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk could turn out to be the biggest predators on the planet, and they would never pay anyone that for that.
No.
It doesn't make any sense, logistically speaking.
Well, I think I'm a big believer in do what you please. I think if what you want to do is corn, then fine.
You are not good at this.
I am not good at this.
A lot of bleeps in this upcoming take.
Fine. Then fine. But I do think we have taught, in a way, women to devalue themselves.
Yes.
To a point that it's become problematic. We are teaching young men to devalue themselves. Then we have people like Lily James that are going out looking for men that just turn 18. We've got people that are preying on that. And we've got, and you know, she was taking applications for her 50 guys in a day thing and burst into tears afterwards. And she said, well, it's because I couldn't make everyone happy. I'm like, no, dear, that's trauma. And she had people writing in saying, I'd be honored for you to be my first time. And so it's that moment of, I mean, I would be horrified if, you know, I had a son and his first time was that.
Yeah, standing in line with that lady who did 1,000 in 24 hours, 14 hours actually. There are people just standing there in line outside the door. They're single file, you know, probably age or height order too. And they're just, what do you talk about with a guy that, hey, what do you do for work? How was your day? Like, oh, you work in the tech industry? That's crazy. That's crazy. Why do you want to put your dick in her? Like, what appeals to you about this one? Because what else do you do? What are you doing? It's just everyone's on their phones. You know they are. They're just texting their girlfriends. No, babe, I'm just with the bros. And then
technically they were for
technically I'm not lying. And and then they disappear for 10 minutes. I'm sure less.
She promised everyone 5 minutes. Apparently, most of them did 2, and then started complaining that they didn't get the 5.
What the fuck else do you want?
Apparently, they couldn't finish. It was a thing.
What?
They couldn't finish in the 2 minutes they were given.
Oh, I'm looking at this the wrong way. Okay, so they're mad that they didn't get to go to completion, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's
given
hilarious.
a time frame, which I believe was 5 minutes, but it ended up being cut down to 2. And if they couldn't finish, they couldn't. She said her eyes were stinging from the amount of semen she had in them, so that was problematic.
Why on the
but that for her, she said, was a fetish. Like having this happen, that many guys line up for her, that is a fetish. And that is your specialty. So why in God's name would someone want a line of men lined up to valid? But
your fetish is money.
Oh, I love money.
So
I love money. Well, I don't know. I like money. I like jewelry. I just got a gorgeous Asphodel of London bag. You bought me a gorgeous set of jewelry. I got these gorgeous sapphires. Yes, okay. I'm very money driven. Would I have, but I mean, I wouldn't have sex for it would depend on how much money. All right, that's fair. I like money.
Yeah,
Everyone's got a price no matter what, to be honest with you.
That's true.
Which begs the concern that you ever get a rich incel.
Well, that's
that'd be a problem for someone at some point.
Elon.
That's it.
Yes. Wow. Okay.
That's
Good
the-
job. My bad. That's absolutely on the money there.
That's the thing. When you look at, everyone has their price. If you already have money, for example, say you are a baroness or a cage fighter, then you usually have a lot of money. Or if you work with royalty around the world, you have a lot of money. So your number would be much higher than somebody else's. For example, I mean, how much would it take for you to sleep with? Well, I guess the price would be different between, Chris Hemsworth and I don't know, Jack Black. Actually, I do Jack Black. He's funny.
No,
I love Jack Black. Sorry, I've got the director back here. It's like Jack Black. I'm like, I would do Jack Black. I like funny. I am actually really turned on by funny. I think the sexiest guy in the world is Will Ferrell.
I don't know if I would do Jack Black because he's funny, but if I got to meet Jack Black and he started copping a feel, I would have to think like, is it worth it to spend more time with Jack Black? Like, how bad is it gonna get?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so Weinstein, we worked with him. He was lovely to us, but we were paying his bills. So, but how much for Harvey?
Oh,
that's the point.
Oh man, why the face?
But it's the career. But
I just have
put up with it for the career. People put up with it for the career.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, but still.
I just keep on thinking of the Family Guy episode.
Oh,
if
you get a chance, look up Family Guy clip with Harvey and the Minions.
The Minions.
Oh, poor Minions.
I think we're getting messages
Minion.
from our sound engineer, but we're too far away.
Is he saying? I think he's probably telling us it's time.
Probably time is running short.
Time. So this has gone terribly. This has been the most discombobulated show we have ever done, but in one of the most interesting locations, because usually we're either on a filming location.
Yeah, no,
or
this
he's
has
at
been
fight.
the best location in my opinion.
I think we're going to be doing
spot.
one from Mexico when you get down there. We're going to be also doing it from. I know we've got to do it for the UK and Nigeria, and I have to admit this has been the most comfortable. But without a microphone in our hand, we have all been thoroughly discombobulated.
And lots of clapping.
I know we screwed this up royally. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. I am the Baroness of Ayrshire and Glen Lyons, Summer Helene. We are on with my co-host.
The what?
Fuzzy Bear, what's his face?
The baddest bear in the cage, Bear Fiorda.
And say it
our special guest.
If you want to join us for his fights, we've got 5 fights coming up in Mexico. Plus, we've got the fight with Sensei Seth, and he's got a fight that we cannot disclose with one of the biggest names in fighting towards the end of the year. And thank you very much to our special guest, Kink4Dummies. Make sure you are following them, Kink4Dummies, and follow us here on BTS. And if you are one of the 3 people that watched us live, thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
More than 3
Good
this
night.
Time.
This has been Behind the Scenes with the Baroness and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk4 Media.